TPK, joined by Tralfamador. Happy to have him on once again. And we got compLexity versus NP. We got well, you can say they wiped the floor at compLexity to Team NP. They even sent out a tweet about it. They are here to play. So compLexity, we'll see if they take that to heart and come back here in game number 2. That was one of those games that feels like that doesn't really show us this matchup of teams. I mean, NP isn't that much better than compLexity, so I assume they're going to come back strong in this game.
Unless we see the same exact thing. Like, if they wipe the floor again, as they say, in the second game, then I think you can't call game 1 a fluke, and you just can say that compLexity is not ready to compete at NP's level, or that game was a fluke and they weren't ready specifically for that tri-lane that went aggro against them. Which I really think it's that. I think most teams are just simply not ready mentally and actually prepared in-game to combat an aggro tri-lane.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like they were showing their cards very obviously. Like, they had a Nyx assassin, they could have easily put him off lane, as most Nyx assassins do, but they chose to just go aggro, and it caught him off guard.
And now we have the draft on our way in here. Obviously, the 4th ban coming out for compLexity, but IO into Ursa with their 2nd pick, and Timbersaw Rubik, though, coming out from NP. Let's ban an Oracle there. You like the Ursa already this earlier on for compLexity?
It pairs nicely with IO. The only thing about picking Ursa early is you can kind of form a draft around it that really kites him well. Before Ursa gets BKB, even the Rubik, who's considered not the strongest support, especially picked early on, you usually want to wait for things to steal, things like Earthshaker, if you see a Spirit Breaker. You just basically just want to wait until you see good spells to steal, or if the lift is particularly good. And right now it's good against Ursa. You basically have to get a BKB very early on, because even just this Rubik lift is going to be annoying. So Slardar, that stun's really annoying, very low cooldown onto it, so it's a little bit risky in my opinion picking up the Ursa this early, but maybe they have a plan with the early Wisp pickup, so we'll see. So following bans here, compLexity actually bans out the Batrider. That's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the picks by NP as well. They got Timbersaw and now the Slardar, usually both offlane heroes. I know they could be mid, and Timbersaw could be mid as well, but I almost wonder if that is taking away a little bit from compLexity, too, because, again, with the ban of Batrider, as you mentioned, Beastmaster being banned, I mean, wonder what they're maybe thinking there. Witch Doctor going to come out.
Dire team pick.
Okay. Yeah, I would expect with the Slardar, against an Ursa lineup, and with them already having Timber, I would suspect it's an offlane Slardar with a mid-Timber, but that's just my guess. They still have a lot of different options.
10 seconds remaining.
And if it is an offlane Timbersaw, I think Witch Doctor's a good pick. Otherwise, not quite sure. Cask is so amazing if Rubik can steal it, especially against a Wisp lineup, because you're typically going to be paired up with one other person, primarily that Ursa. So if Rubik gets his hands on those paralyzing casts, it could be a very, very sad time for compLexity gaming. And it's PA coming out for Team NP, so yeah, still have options in terms of whether they want to put Timber safe or Timber mid, but I like it. That constant slow is really annoying for Ursa. You do not want to pop your Enrage just to get rid of a slow.
Yeah.
That will come out the next 2 seconds.
Reserve time.
Good synergy, too, with the amplified damage that they have from Slardar, so.
That's right.
Like the PA pick there for sure. compLexity, their 4th pick, so what do they need? An offlane in the mid here, most likely.
Although, hey, maybe they go aggro. Maybe they see, hey, Rubik's really weak in lane. Even if they put a Timbersaw in the safe lane, Ursa's very, very good against it in lane, because even though you have reactive armor, those Fury Swipes will add up and it doesn't matter too much. So they could go aggro with that. It's not a crazy thing for them to do.
All right, reserve time, about a minute left here. Melon's got that notebook out. Going through the strats.
I actually think they're deciding whether to go aggro or not, because they have the heroes to do so. Rubik's weak in lane. Timbersaw, it doesn't matter if he's in lane or not against the aggro tri-lane. So if they are going to go aggro, they're thinking, okay, what's a hero that we can pretend that will go off lane but will still be very, very strong in the safe lane? So there's only so many options. I mean,
Juggernaut?
No, you're not going to typically want to put Juggernaut in the safe. I mean, you could go Juggernaut mid, for sure. You could totally go Juggernaut mid. But terms of whether going to safe lane or off lane, you're looking at Bristleback. Is that their hero? We don't see this much.
Somebody, I think compLexity banned Bristleback last game. So,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Now they have tons of options. They can go Bristleback IO mid. They can go Bristleback IO off lane. They can go dual lanes with Witch Doctor Ursa in the safe lane. They have a ton of options right now. So I guess the thing they have going for them is this mystery factor. It's not really clear what they're doing.
Yeah. I love his cue. Vicious nasal goo. It's just like so descriptive.
Yeah.
Vicious nasal goo. I feel like they could have got away with like snot. That'd have been fine. All right, bans on either side. So yeah, the guessing game kind of continues getting at. Not so much for NP. You probably figure they're going to just need that other support now. Their final pick here.
And what would be good? I think Shadow Demon is an obvious good answer. The slow is great against Ursa. Obviously, Disruption's good, and saving someone that he goes on.
Wow, yeah.
That would seem like the obvious choice to me, and it's surprising that it hasn't even been picked up by either team yet.
Shadow Demon, Kunkka, Marat, like those are all like core heroes that have been seen so much lately. Yeah, not even banned though or picked any of those.
Yeah, I could see Kunkka as well. That would be a good hero to pick. Obviously the X is great against relocate and being able to jump away with the tether. So.
Or what about Disruptor then?
Disruptor's fantastic too. Yeah. So there's a number of options. And options are good for really anybody.
Huh, they take out AA from Team NP. I guess that could have been pretty good too.
Yeah, well, they don't have very good tower pushing, so when they group up, especially with the two melee cores, if you got hit by an Ice Blast, that could be pretty devastating. So I can see the reasoning behind that. But again, as you mentioned, there's Disruptor Kunkka, there's Shadow Demon, there's tons of supports that could be played here by NP. In compLexity, they have a core I think they need to pick here, and they have a ton of options themselves.
10 seconds
with only 10 seconds left.
Yeah, gonna have to go quickly.
Wow, very melee core lineup.
Yeah, it sure is.
3 melee cores.
All right, well, isn't Axe?
They're gonna come into a huge problem if they're doing well and they're looking to push high ground. They're gonna come into a huge problem against Timbersaw. And even Rubik's Fade Bolt's actually quite good in fending them off, especially if he gets an Aether Lens, he can sit from harm's way, or sit away from harm's way. But yeah, so again, options are hell. They could even go like a Dazzle here if they really wanted to. Great to keep Axe out of lane. Of course, Axe is great. That's one of those interesting combinations where Axe is good against Dazzle, and Dazzle is also good against Axe, where the Culling Blade goes through Grave. But in lane and phase, the heal just destroys Axe. So, but again, tons of options: Disruptor, Kunkka, Shadow Demon. I already said Disruptor, right?
Yeah, a lot of choices. Eternal Envy going to decide here shortly, and going to be good to go. But yeah, the melee core is real for compLexity. Oh. Wait,
it's a support PA.
Support PA, yeah.
Ooh, we were just talking about it. This will be fun. I think Rose plays it, aka 1437, and I saw him playing it on stream the other night, and yeah, it's very annoying. God, especially if he finds the Wisp in lane. I mean, Wisp is generally going to be rushing a bottle. Actually, both of these supports probably aren't going to have the most stats in the world, and you get a couple daggers onto them, then your laning phase is a lot easier. So, yep, support Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, you mentioned the power of the slow is going to be pretty good this game, and so why not just fit him in that support role anyways? Instead, get more of the core, in this case, Invoker. They like the matchup there for the middle, so. All right. Yeah, you got to wonder, too, if that really it threw us off guard, and I wouldn't be surprised if compLexity is also taken back a little bit by that last pick Invoker there.
I think they were, because I think they picked the Axe thinking, hey, they have 3 melee cores too. So what's good against melee cores? Axe, you know?
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I think if they knew that wasn't going to be a core PA, they probably wouldn't have picked that Axe. So interesting stuff here from NP.
All right, wow, very aggressive mid ward here placed by SVG there right off the bat. Some good vision there. Using that smoke to seat as well. Yeah, that was something fun. Speaking of PPD, being there, getting into talk with him with Inside and stuff, and mentioning the idea of the whole smoke to seat, how he wasn't necessarily maybe sold on it initially, but with it being so cheap and everything, it feels like a lot of teams are just making use of it. And we did see quite a bit in that event at the very beginning of the game, that is. Get those points down.
Yeah, I like more and more when teams start using it early to mask their ward placements in the beginning, especially the mid ward. Because any kind of useful mid ward that you're going to be placed here, you pretty much have to be smoked in order to prevent yourself from being seen.
Yeah.
If you're not smoked, they're just simply going to see you, and it gets dewarded, and then your time is wasted, and your gold's wasted, and your ward's wasted. But smoking prevents all that. Smoking's good.
Smoking is good for Dota players, yes. Bottom room, they're gonna fight for this. It looks like. Maybe try something. Now, Cancel picks it, or he's there to pick it up at least. There we go.
NP it was funny. Rose was trying to give this the intention of, hey, we're not backing down to try to scare him, and compLexity was like, nope, we're not falling for that, and they just stood the ground, and he's like, all right, well, you didn't take the bait.
They felt pretty good in that situation. They had to escape and whatnot, so Ursa heads towards middle, and let the farm begin. So him versus Invoker here.
Invoker should be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that, unless he gets a ton of help in mid and gets his movement speed boosted up by IO, I think Envy will be fine. He's going to need to prioritize that Ice Wall early on. It's going to be a very, very good spell against the Ursa.
So this is going to be a Quasix sort Invoker here.
Yeah, looks like it.
Darn.
Darn.
Oh, wow. Oh, that went down there. Okay. Axe goes down bottom lane. I was not paying attention to health bars. My apologies. Did you catch that by chance, or were you lost as well?
Oh my god, look at that dagger. One dagger took out about, what, 18% of Witch Doctor's health. That is insane. That's a level 1 dagger.
I mean, yeah, that must have been what caught JK off guard there or something, because for him to die this early on, a level 1 still, basically.
And Axe actually doesn't have much armor without activating the Berserker's Call early on, so those daggers are actually quite piercing. Quite stifling, I must say.
Aha.
Yeah.
Well, Eternal Envy going to be boxed out here by Cancel quite a bit. Throws down that Earth Shock, gets the second one off. Man, he's... Wow! And there's a Ted Invoker. Those Fury Swipes.
Did not respect the... It's the Fury Swipes, but really it's the Earth Shock. It's such a low cooldown, and the slow is one of the best value point slows in the game. 25% level 1, good damage, low cooldown. Very, very good spell to have, and yeah, Envy did not respect it. So Cancel getting his revenge here in game 2 in the mid lane. Had the better lane, better hero, I should say, for mid last game, but kind of got outplayed a little bit, but definitely outplaying Envy here in game 2.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting point being brought up. I guess apparently Cancel isn't actually in the team house with them right now. Or I don't know if it's Cancel or somebody else, but I think it's Cancel's actually not there. Even pointing out right there, they're not even all in the same house. This compLexity, so he's playing with a little bit more ping as a result if he is in Europe, that is.
Well, Envy is going to need to prioritize either one of two things. He needs to get either Ice Wall right now and have it saved and invoked, or he needs to constantly have a Forward Spirit up with Cold Snap ready for when he gets... Oh, he's actually putting damage onto Cancel. He's got a Sunstrike. He doesn't even need it. They can just run him down with auto attacks. Oh, he puts it out anyway. Forces him to run upwards towards the right to take a couple auto attacks. So one of those zoning Sunstrikes we'll call. But it forces him back.
No, that's one of those in a public game. If that happens, you get called out like, "Oh, this Invoker sucks. He missed the Sunstrike," and you're like, "No, that forced him to run the other direction. He was dead either way." So. Yeah.
And good players will know when you cast Sunstrike because they're going to be watching the animation of your hero, and your hand moves up when you cast it, so it's not like you're really fooling anybody.
Oh, so there is a obvious Okay, I wasn't aware.
There is animation, yeah. Yeah, no, it took me a long time to actually realize it too, but once you start looking for that, then it'll be easier for you to recognize it.
Top lane, Bristleback, how's he holding up here? 17-0, 18-2. Seems like he's doing pretty good. 14-0, Timbersaw, meanwhile. Bottom? No, he's fine. Yeah, Bristleback going to be getting some good farm here. I assume Bristleback, he builds just tanky, like that's just how the hero works, right? So expect to see like Vanguard or something like that.
Yeah, Treads Vanguard. There's actually some interesting builds I've seen in. Oh, he's going for the headdress, so maybe he goes for the Greaves.
Okay.
Guardian Greaves early on. That could be a thing.
Cancel. He needs to be careful here. He's going to be fine. There's a dagger, though. There's a blink in, and Cancel might be in trouble. Oh, another Earthshock, and I think it will be enough to get away. Yes, it will, but a lot of pressure. Those cold snaps.
He's a very fast hero. His base movement speed's like 315, I think, and boots and a windlace is pumping him up quite heavily. Cancel getting really aggressive here. Cold snap comes out, getting kited just a little bit. Wisp giving him that extra boost of movement speed and attack speed, but again he gets slowed by that 6-second cooldown stifling dagger. Auto attacks coming in from the tower. No Forge Spirit, sorry, no Sunstrike mana available, nor the Invoke. So just a stalemate here.
Yeah, that seemed a little YOLO-ish from Cancel, but I mean we saw Wisp flying in, so obviously the idea was there. But there was a good kite definitely coming out from Invoker, but man, yeah, he's not afraid to play pretty aggressive right here. He wants to kill that Forge Spirit, and he'll do so. I guess, yeah, that's probably good value, right? To use abilities even to kill that Forge Spirit there, like he did.
Yeah, it is. So in the meantime, Rose
wow.
got to kill bottom. He's all over the place on this PA. Like I said, he plays this actually a lot in pubs, and I saw him streaming it just the other day. So he's well versed in this hero and putting it to good use here early on in game 2.
Yeah, you see what JK is doing in the jungle. Of course, being Axe, he's going to the jungle there. So that would mean Witch Doctor was by himself for the time being, and understandably, he just gets caught in the bottom lane there. So middle lane, they want to go again. God, they really want to dive this, but Eternal Envy, he's just too quick. He sees it come from a mile away. I mean, how long is he going to dive here?
He's definitely learned his lesson after the first death.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot better now. Action back on his Wintermelons. He went backwards to go stun and cast the PA, but it didn't really do much.
Yeah,
in the meantime, Boog is taken out solo by Timbersaw. Owie on the Timbersaw. Nicely done by him. Stifling dagger onto Z-Freak. He needs to find a tether target. Goes backwards to cancel towards Envy.
Oh no. Here comes the crush. He hits both. That was max range. Down goes the Wisp. Is Cancel in trouble too? Now that's the question. And another crush coming up in 1 second. Yes, he is. Oh man, and where did this game go wrong already? It feels like this was so close for up into the last 30 seconds.
The movements of NP's supports are just so much better. Like, you saw core versus core here in mid. Cancel definitely had the upper edge, outplayed Envy. Maybe Envy outplayed himself by just standing too far up, but either way, Cancel capitalized on that opportunity and found a good kill. And then you saw, oh man, Moo getting taken out there in the top lane. That's actually really big, and now it gives Owie some good levels and some really, really good farm that he otherwise wouldn't have without that kill in that space.
It seems like the Chakram's obviously a big part of that, too, for Timbersaw in this matchup especially. I mean, that's probably pretty difficult for Bristleback to deal with, right? I mean, the zoning and position of it, so. Oh, bottom lane. I'm not getting any kills at this bottom lane. I really need to stick my camera down here, apparently. But Axe goes down again as they chase him down. But guess who's there? How many assists does Rose have? 5. He's 2-0-5.
Witch Doctor's in trouble. A couple more auto attacks. The cast does go back. Envy does not miss uphill and was able to get the last auto attack with the aid of SVG's vision because they didn't have a ward up there. This is getting out of hand quickly, Breaky.
It is. And, part of me is a little bit like, obviously, I'm a bit of a complexity fanboy. I like, seeing Z-Freak and Melons and want to see them somewhat successful, but this is not a match that they were, I don't want to say not ready for, but, I mean, they're outmatched. I mean, NP is a good team.
I can't say that they weren't ready for it because they've had a lot of time to prepare since they announced their roster. But, you show up, sometimes you show up, sometimes you don't. Cancel, he gets the ult off. Nicely timed right there, but the damage and the slows are just, they have so many slows on this team between the Chakram, the 6-second cooldown of the dagger. Even though it's not a slow, but the cold snap kind of acts as slow by keeping you, constantly stunned, and it feels like you're not moving anywhere.
I haven't had the chance to watch NP too much myself. I'm quickly becoming a fan of this team, and if this is an example of what we should expect from them with their play, because what I'm noticing too, they literally have all different heroes from the game 1, yet they're playing the same way just about in terms of just go aggressive.
Well, they're just gelling. Like, they're playing well as a team, and their communication is very strong. And it's very cool when you can see that, and you obviously can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because that's when you really need to understand what their communication's like. But when I can see that their communication is good without hearing their team speak or whatever they're using, that's when you know that it's good. So.
Yeah. Well, point is, compLexity yet again has their work cut out for them. But again, knowing compLexity too, and they're definitely all about the pride, especially this being their first match with the new roster. I don't see them, giving up anytime soon necessarily. But they got a big hill to climb here.
Do you know the format of this qualifier?
So
is it best?
It's it's best of 3, double elimination. So, and there's only 4 teams.
That was such a ballsy move by.
I saw that. Yeah.
If he had, if PA had vision for 1 second, he was dead with a stifling dagger. But okay, that's a cool format.
So yeah, there's only 4 teams. Like I said, they had the open. So it was NP, NP, compLexity, and FDL were the invited teams. Then the open qualifier team of Evernova, those guys there. So they.
Sorry, you said it was single limb.
Double limb. So
Double
they
limb.
are still in it. They're just going to go to losers. They'll play the loser of the other series.
Hey! They have not lost yet. Okay.
If this result keeps up, yes, of course. Oh my God, bristlebacks.
Okay, no, they lost.
well, that does it. Oh God, it's just getting worse. What have we done?
This is a slaughter, man.
Yeah, I feel bad. I really do. Like, I really was hoping. I wanted a good series, man. I was really looking forward to this.
Team NP has more kills than a minute, and it's only 9 minutes in. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be a little frustrating for compLexity, but again, it's still earlier in their lifespan with this new roster, and let's not discredit NP either. NP, they have been playing together for a while. We mentioned that the qualifier for the MDL, the Montreal land that they were playing for, and they got all the way to grand finals, and that was a huge grand final match they had. They've been playing for a bit here as Invoker Sunstrike kills Witch Doctor there. So, again, obviously this is not an easy matchup for compLexity, but it is still something to see them getting dominated here.
I have to just say it. I don't know. Maybe 2 games is not enough, but I'm just not convinced yet of the Swindle support. I wasn't sure about it when I saw. No, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about it when I saw. I think it's fair to say. I think most people saw him as a core player.
That doesn't fit his role. I agree.
Honestly, compLexity saw pretty good success when he played mid, when they attended TI. They actually saw good success with that, and I thought he played his role well, and things were gelling. Offlane was a little shaky, but I thought when I heard support, I was like, "Whoa, that's a hell of a change, right?"
Yeah.
And again, maybe two games is just too small of a sample size to see. But oh man, JK is getting taken out here. It almost looks like compLexity is like mentally defeated, right? Like
it does, yeah. It's just snowballing here, continues to be. He does steal the cask, actually. He's going to use it right there. Now Melon's probably going to die as a result of it, but helping to set up some turn kills, possibly. You see that armor kicking in for Ari, though. In fact, he goes back in with a chakram, sending it back to him. The Wisp tied to the bristleback. But now here's even more supporting cast coming in. The Blink Dagger from Slaughter, the Sunstrike on Z-Freak. They don't get the kill, though, actually. He will survive. Slaughter goes out of the background. Now Cancel trying to go out with the Timber Saw. They did lose the Wisp in the end. To make it a 1-for-1, though.
Oh, SVG got casks. He got the paralyzing casks on Rubik.
Oh, no.
He cast it once already and was really good. Cold Snap coming up on the JK. There's a cast. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
And
2 easy kills. It is such a good spell to take. Moo looking for that extra bit of mana to get that last Quill Spray. There's the mana he needs once the tether comes up off cooldown.
There we go.
Gets the kill.
Well, we're not done just yet, apparently. Cancel coming back in. No buybacks throughout this, simply resurrections, and Timbersaw goes down. So there's life. There's life to be had for compLexity.
There is.
That's what we're learning here.
So that was a good gold boost there. You look at the net worth chart for the cores. They're actually right there in line with the corresponding cores of NP. It is a bit scary that the support PA. Look at her net worth. That's pretty insane. It's almost there up with the Ursa, and he's nearly got a Vlad's. Crazy amounts of farm here for 1437.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a faster Vlad's than we saw the PA last game. That's the core.
Very good point.
So, to put it in perspective, if we needed that, there's the amp damage, Sunstrike, the coordination was just on point. And that's a dead bristleback, so as tanky as they may be, cannot survive through all that. The Hannah Midas, by the way, we do see on Invoker already. Pushing in the bottom lane now, so they do eventually get the tower kill, but again, a sign of life for complexity at least. The roaming support's coming in. But yeah, but before that fight broke out, as you're getting at it, I mean, I do agree with you with Swindlemelons. It doesn't feel like support. But that's where it's kind of weird, though, for me, because there are a lot of support players that are these captains of teams at the same time. And it feels like a role that if you are going to be a captain, in-game captain, then that's probably a good role to be. So, well, you know, it is early. I do think that is important.
Yeah.
So give it some time, maybe.
Very easy Roshan attempt with Vlad's with the negative armor from Slardar.
That's one of the. That's one of those I kind of remembered, like, or I guess, you know, coming from Han, it's like that not being a thing in Han, obviously being with the minus armor, and then coming in and just seeing stuff like that again, and feels like Sada, you put that amp damage up and just drop.
Oh, it was worse before you came in too. They drastically reduced how much negative armor can be applied to him with things like Medallion used to be picked up all the time specifically for Roche, which was, I think, negative, what was it? It's like 6 armor, I think? 7 armor?
Yeah, 7.
And it's super, super cheap, and supports could buy it, and you could just pretty much take Roche with anybody, but then they turned it into half. So, and I don't know if it rounds, is it 7? So I don't know if it rounds down or up. Not sure. Up, nice.
Yeah, they jumped in pretty easy with their Sunstrike assist to come through, and they get the kill. Cancel, meanwhile, locked down. It goes back to, again, they just have quite a bit of slow and just lockdown in general. Wasn't even going back in. This is how ballsy he is, a support PA. And he's going to fall back, though, but there's a crush initiation once again. Timbersaw cuts through the Ursa, gets the kill onto him. Bristleback in the background, though, putting the snot onto Noct. However, unable to chase him successfully. So, Port coming in.
That's coming in with bots.
Bots, all right.
Fresh bots. Midas drums up 15 minutes here for Eternal Envy. And this is a guy who got solo killed by the Ursa at, what, minute 2. So, talk about a bounce back. And 420 blaze it.
Oh, boy. Vape Nation is out.
Vape Nation.
Speaking of those, the dabbing. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It is 4-20. Yes, it is. They're running to the bottom lane. They're not going to find anyone down here, though, but... Okay, already the Bloodstone on Timbersaw. Jeez. Oh, okay, wow. He already has a Guardian Greaves on Bristleback. As well as now a Vitality Booster.
He's actually the top net worth in the game. Look at Moo go.
Yeah, Moo's like, all right, guys. I come from the runner-up team at TI. I'm going to put you on my back here.
That's right.
Do some work. You think he gloats about that in the team house?
Oh, God, no. No, I think he's a bit more humble.
Yeah, probably.
I actually, I have to give Moo props because I thought he actually would gloat about it coming into pubs.
Yeah.
But he's actually, from the times I've played with him, very, very humble guy. So I have to give him credit for that.
Yeah. Not all of us get the chance to pub with top players like Moo, so I'd like to hear, hear more insight on that, Mr. Trell. Top player you.
Yeah.
Is there well, that's probably a loaded question. I was gonna say, are there players out there that maybe aren't as fun to play with? Let's see. You probably have a full list, I'm sure.
I got a full notebook. Let's just put it that way. No, it's nice. You can nickname. Do you know you can nickname people in Dota?
I didn't know that.
You have to add them as a friend, and then you add a nickname, and then you remove them. But they don't have to accept your friend request to... Oh, I'm rambling on about useless shit. Okay,
yeah.
Here we go.
Z-Freak, he's dead. That chain spike too much.
Does he still have
Bristleback.
the Aegis now? He does.
He does, yeah. Nope, no tree there. He's good, though. Are they going to go back in? They are. Crush is ready. Amp damage put up. No, he's not going to charge in. Not worth the dive. They are playing it somewhat safe, and they don't want to throw things away here, so just going to get the tower instead. Yeah, Grant was talking about how you are mentioned how you have like a list that you put people on this list of yours.
Yeah.
In your description or whatever.
I got a list, and it's my retaliation list. Oh, Owie's TP got canceled right the last second. That's really annoying.
Wait, how did Slardar die up here? Wow. Interesting. All right, well, Slardar gets picked.
Blink on Ursa, so. Cancel's got 4. He's got 80% of his team's kills. That's pretty good.
That is a support PA. I mean, I gotta say, I'd only seen it once before. As Timbersaul's going in right here. Out Bristleback now, the Chakram, boxing him out. Puts the chain spike through. Timber chain, that is. I don't want to go chain spike. Anyways, goes in further on an Axe. Keeping him slow, but I don't think he's supporting cast. I mean, maybe it is going to be enough damage, actually. Bristleback now trying to box him out. But Axe is so low already. Berserker's call out for another 7 seconds. A Chakram, it is not going to be enough. The chain spike does not hit, and he will survive. So, meanwhile, the recall, where do they go? They went somewhere. They went back to base, actually. Get the hell on out of there. So, well played by Wisp.
Oh, stolen.
Oh.
In your face.
Yeah, that's always got to feel satisfying as a Rubik player. Seafreak is going to get ported back and killed, but...
Aegis is expired. Aoi gets a full regen. Seafreak dies on his return back from the relocate. Ern's coming up to keep Envy in good health and good spirits. Cancel's closing in and actually on that Skull Basher, so good farm on the Ursa. Good farm on the Bristleback as well, but the supporting cast is not having a good time. And by supporting cast, I don't even mean Axe. I mean, he was a core, and he's got lower net worth than the entirety of Team NP.
Oh man, it's just impressive to watch. Just this all collapse all of a sudden onto Ursa there, and he's just dead.
And I said earlier, quite frankly, before Dream League, where NP did go 1-1 against, I think it was again Vega or NP, VP, I can't remember. But before that, in their Montreal tournament qualifiers, as you mentioned, I honestly was not truly impressed, like that super impressed with NP.
Okay.
But they look honestly so much better now. Whether that's because they've really kicked it up a notch, or if it's complexity just simply not on their level, we don't know yet, because again, it's kind of hard to draw those conclusions with one series. We just have to kind of wait and see if they continue to improve. But,
yeah.
That's right. But regardless, they are playing very, very well in this series.
Yeah, so they played earlier today. That's right. I remember that. They split against Vega. It was against them there. So and yeah, Vega's looking solid. How about Escape Gaming, man? Seeing those guys do well over there in Dream League.
I don't watch Europeans.
You don't watch Europeans.
No, I think actually that most of the Dream League games are like at a weird schedule, and I'm usually gone or asleep at that time. So I haven't watched any of the games. Except for the ones I caught a little tail end of Liquid right before this. Liquid went 1-1 with
Vega as well, yeah.
Vega, yeah. And I saw they went 0-2 before that. This was supposed to be a...
They lost 2-0 to VP. I actually casted that game. They did not look good. They kind of looked like complexity, honestly. they really did. to put it frank. Hold on, let me rewind that there. No, I mean, yeah, they did not look too good. It's just for the hype surrounding, right? It's like this idea that
Miracle is considered the best player in the world.
Exactly.
Comes on to Liquid. I mean, Fata was a great player too, but I think some would agree that Miracle's the best. Bulba joined. That's another instance where I love Bulba. Great friend. He's a cool guy, but is he really a support player? I don't know. I thought he was a great offlaner. I thought he was. Okay. He's actually a very good mid player too, which people don't realize. He was a really good mid player.
It's weird hearing about certain like there's one player that No-Tail. He's gone from freaking all the spectrums. I feel like where he played support for the longest time earlier on. Now he's playing like the carry role with OG. So yeah, it's crazy to think that players transition like that from just such drastically different roles.
Yeah.
Over time.
Jeez, look at this Deso timing of PA. This is the kind of timing that even on a core you'd be like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But this is a support. So
18 of the 24 kills. You're talking about that. Jeez, just so involved. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. Support. I've only seen 2 games now of support PA, including this one, and they both just dominated. It feels like so.
Do you remember the last game that you saw? Like who the players?
It was MDL. I know that. I forget exactly what the game was, but it was one of the MDL matches.
Okay.
They did it. They ran it mid there. As Moo's in trouble. He's gonna get the Wisp though, and they recall that. Well played.
They almost got the tornado to cancel that relocate. So looks like they're gonna bring him back, but before they bring him back, this is a really smart move by NP. They want to kill the people before they send in reinforcements. Buyback coming out now from JK.
This is a last stand right here for compLexity with that buyback especially. You feel like, nice job by Eternal Levy getting away with a force down or something happening right there. But he does get cut through in the end. However, Ursa picked off in the background, and this is a fight that NP is just tearing apart of compLexity. Moo now once again by himself. He has his back turn. That's the good news. JK, unfortunately, doesn't have the same ability there of the bristleback, and he goes down anyways. That is a dieback, and that's just a cleanup as well. As I come from saying a genocide from Team NP, so 5-1 exchange.
Great word and accurate word to really describe what's going on. Buyback coming out from Envy. They know that the axe diebacks. They know that they really don't have anything except for a buyback here from Moo, who is very, very farmed, but just doesn't have the support from the rest of his team. He walks right in. His face is turning towards everybody. They're trying to maneuver to hit him from the front, not from the back. Able to put a lot of damage, no relocate. That's a dieback instantly coming out from Moo, and I would not be surprised to see GG's coming out.
Yeah, it's probably up to, Mel's to make that call. And you kind of wonder if there's in the state of like, no, we're playing this just because, damn it.
Well, last game it wasn't up to him because Cancel called it as he was dying in the mid lane. So we'll see, but Force Staff aggressively onto Melons, and now it's coming from MSS. Cancel, he's in some trouble. He does have an ult, but he's already taken too much damage. Relocate was already popped. Not in time, and GG's come out. Just a domination slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse 5 coming out from Team NP in both games. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I definitely expected a little better performance, not gonna lie. But again, it is early for compLexity, and like I said, Team NP, can't take away from them as well. They really, I became more of a fan of Team NP today. I actually really want to start watching more of their matches now. I will say that, from the Dream League especially. So they were fun to watch, and clearly the better team today. So compLexity, kind of hope whatever issues. I mean, again, they're not out of this tournament, so let's talk about that here. I mean, they are still in this tournament, and now they're just in the losers bracket. I will say, if they get matched up against this losers bracket team, which ideally you would think is going to be this Evernova team, considering they're going up against FTL, I would hope that compLexity is able to compete pretty well against them. But we'll see. We'll see when that happens.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it was, even though it was a stomp, it was actually a fun stomp to watch, right? 'Cause
it was, yeah.
I thought that NP played really, really well. And again, just to touch on the point,